Okay, so welcome to EDAR460 online. So it can be a little bit hairy online, but we'll try and cope with that. I'm just going to put you guys over in the corner a little bit. Yeah, so welcome everybody. If you're watching this from the recording, then please send me an email and just, let me know your circumstances. Hopefully you can make it online with us at 5:30 on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm really aware that the southern states are going to be going into daylight savings. So if I move the time up, then it's just going to get later, a bit later. So we need to, I think we either stick to this time, 5:30, or I can move it to 6 o'clock. But there's no other avenue for other days. This is the day. So Wednesday is our day for 460. Okay, so welcome to the unit. Yeah, my name's Victoria McTaggart. I have been working at ACU for about 11 years now in the arts. I usually work on campus, so but for the last, I don't know how, since COVID's hit, we have been online, so I have been online. And yeah, so it's a different platform, but bear with me. Time management is really important within this format of learning. So whatever we do tonight, as in drawing, so hopefully you have got paper, a pen, because we'll do a bit of drawing tonight. And next week we'll get into painting. So I'll give you a list of resources on the discussion forum. So please, please, please check your emails and check the online tile. So 460 online tile, because that's our tile, and check the discussion forum too. You'll get you can use the Melbourne, you can have a look in Melbourne, but the online discussion forum is for us. Okay, so anything you want to post on that, it is public, but it could be beneficial to you because your fellow colleagues, fellow future teachers might be able to answer your questions for you. Yeah, so we'll go through the unit outline tonight, and we'll go through the Leo site just so I can navigate you through it and get you, ready to start. We will talk about the first assessment piece because it is, you're better off getting onto that sooner than later. And yeah, that's about it. We'll have a bit of a Q&A at the end, so you can ask me any questions you want. But yeah, that's about the groundwork for this from me anyway. So we've got 16 participants tonight. Let's have a look. I'm going to share my screen. Hang on a moment. Share my screen with the unit. I think we'll go to the we'll navigate the unit first, I think. Okay. All right. So this is, as you know, this is our Leo site. Oh gosh, there's a big photo of me there. So the homepage, information and resources, you will find your unit outline, which we will have a look in a moment. You've got the online unit outline. You've got the Melbourne unit outline, quite, very much similar. So it's quite equitable across the board. You've got the readings here, the reading list, and you've got the textbook. So if you just click on the textbook here, you'll see that you've got the required text, which is right, children's meaning making and the arts, and then you've got recommended references. So my suggestion is maybe print this out or keep this or download this for your own reference, because these are the sources that will support your assumptions within your critical reflections. So you're better off using these readings and this literature and the research, and it's all done for you. So you don't really have to go and Google, and then, some people have used Wikipedia. Don't use Wikipedia, or, go to Google Scholar and get some peer-reviewed sources. of course, you can source your documents like the ELF document, the Australian curriculum document, and the Australian standard documents all online. And that's just simply a Google search. I will tell you this though, when we do go through the that navigating the site, I'll just show you, there's a couple of hyperlinks that you can use. Just make sure that's sharing. Yep. All right. So, where am I? Okay. So that's the textbook. All right. So tutorials. Yep. Your tutorials are online. Unfortunately, I haven't got you on campus. Would love to have you all on campus because I love on-campus work in the art room with students. So that would be fantastic, but it's not happening. Like I said, it's a little different, the platform, but the onus is on you guys extending that learning and extending that praxis-based exploration in your own time too. Okay, because I'm going to be pausing now and again and allowing you to create. So if you are watching this as a recording and watching the other tutorials as a recording, then the onus is on you to actually do the work, okay, and collect a little bit of a journal or a lot of a journal. Okay, communication. Hang on a moment. Communication announcements from staff, of course, general unit discussion forum there. Contacting teacher staff. You've got the academic skills unit. So if you do need some help with workshopping how to write a reflective essay or any of the other assessments, then please use the academic skills unit because they are there to support you. Okay. You've got 24/7 online study support, so please use it. So you've just got some hyperlinks there for the support. And they will help you with your writing, right? Giving you feedback on your writing and connecting live with you to discuss any queries you have. You've also got hyperlinks to the library, so library guides. You have got, what else have you got? Technical support. So if you're having trouble uploading an assignment, don't send it via email to me or Kathleen, who is the lecturer in charge in Melbourne. I'm the lecturer in charge online. Don't send us it via email unless you have got it pending within Leo, okay, within the Turnitin submission, okay, so 2 platforms. There's Leo guides for students there, so a lot of hyperlinks to help you. Use them. Okay, so you've got assessments here, so you've got some breakdowns of the first assessment. Assessment 1 is there. Assessment 1 is due on the 4th of September. Now you might be thinking September, oh, that's so far away. Try and do bit by bit by bit so it's not so heavy right in the month of September, okay? I will be checking on that with you guys and I'll probably be a bit of a broken record with assessment because I like to be proactive in getting you guys or encouraging you guys to get your momentum up for writing these assessments. So you've got an assessment rubric there. You've got the assessment 1, which is unpacked. It's a little bit skew with that one. So I'm going to talk to Kathleen and we might be able to fix that up a little bit. And then, of course, you've got an assessment 1 Q&A. So you can add any questions to that Q&A and we will, between Kathleen and myself, we will be answering those questions. Oh, no, my paperwork at the back's falling off the wall. But on the other hand, do not hesitate, onliners, to email me. I will get back to you within 48 hours, if not 24 hours, if not a couple of hours, okay? I'm pretty on to my emails. The only thing is if I am in a tutorial, if I am in a lecture, if I am teaching, then or out or whatever, then I'm not going to get back to you straight away, okay? So just be patient but be reassured that I will be connecting with you. Okay. Now, if you have any personal worries, don't put that up on the discussion forum because it is a public platform. Send it to me via email. I'm very empathetic to the needs of all my students, and I am here to support you. So please, please, please don't have unnecessary stress in your lives. If I can help you in any way, then I will. Okay, be reassured that I am here for you. I am here to get you through this particular subject, and to really support your needs. Okay, so if there's anything untoward, or if you've got, you're anxious about, something, then please let me know because we can solve it together. Okay, assessment 2 isn't due until 16th of October, but I'm not going to look at that tonight, but you do your own investigation and have a good look at the assessment tasks. Okay, try and get your head around it. That way, if you've got any questions, write them down, and then you can ask me. And if we are online, then it's going to benefit the whole cohort. All right. I'm going to be talk. So you've only got 2 assessments, which is great. But in saying that, they must be 50% each, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. All right. This is your online learning tile. So anything specific to our online learning discussions are here. You've got the hyperlink to all the tutorials here. So you just need to press this button and then press the hyperlink within, and it will take you straight to Zoom. Okay. Yeah, and from time to time, I'll be adding more things to that online tile, but please use the entire Leo site. Okay, this is for you. All the resources are for on campus and online. Okay, so we're not totally segregated. We are working as a whole cohort. It's just different platforms. Okay, and then you've got week 1, of course, week 2, week 3. So within these tiles, of course, you've got your lecture and you've got your lecture booklets. So by now, you should know what to do with the booklet. This does include your lecture. So, and you do need to answer the questions and then post them up onto the forums. Okay, the instructions are there for you to follow within these booklets. So please make sure that you do, do your own study online and look at these lectures. Very, very important. Now, if I go into the participants, which I do now and again, and I see that you haven't looked at any lectures, then that will be a concern of mine. Okay, because that means you are missing out on valuable content. So it is a must that you look at the content of the lectures. Okay. Now I can see that because as a lecturer in charge, and Kathleen as a lecturer in charge, a national lecturer in charge, we can actually see your participation rates on Leo. So it's not that we're trying to be big brother, it's more to support you in your learning and to make sure that you are not, getting behind with your studies, because we want you to succeed. We're trying to set you up for success in this unit. Okay, so this particular Leo view that you see is a staff view. And then you've got the tutorials. So don't worry about the ones hidden from the students there. You've got the tutorials here. So that one's not hidden. So Kathleen and I consult, through, because she's in Melbourne, I'm in Brisbane, so we consult on this unit. All right, so we have put up a hyperlink to the early years learning framework for you. So that is just a, touch of a button there. So that's all done for you. The National Quality Standard document is also there. Okay, so you can use those documents and you don't need to go to Google to find them. They are there on the site. Okay, and you will find that within all of these weekly tiles, there's going to be resources for you to use. Okay, we're trying to make your lives not harder, easier than harder. Okay, I do realize, and Kathleen does realize that, well, she's got her on-campus students, but my onliners, I know, I do empathize with you. A lot of you are working, you're teaching, you've got children, you've got, you might be fast tracking, so you've got a lot of subjects. I was a student myself, so I know exactly what you're going through. But you do have to allocate your time. So time management is really, really important. Okay, so you've got week 2, week 3, and of course, right up to week 12, but I won't go through any more of that, okay? So I am going to get up now hang on a minute. I want the unit outline. Where am I? Okay, I might go back to information and resources and get the unit outline up for you, because I want to have a bit of a discussion. Where is it? Hang on, home. Okay. Oh, why isn't that opening? All right, so Kathleen's put a bit of an introductory video up there for you. All right, let's have a look at the unit outline. Oh, hang on a moment. What's gone wrong? Sorry about this. Let's go to there. Okay. All right, let's have a little look. Hopefully that's shared. Can you see the unit outline?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All righty. So, okay. Let's see. We'll go right down. We'll go down to assessment 1. Okay, you've got, first off though, you got the whole itinerary here. So it is early childhood and the arts. Now, every week you're going to have a mixture of both visual arts and music, drama, dance within your tutorials. Okay, so it's not broken up into specific disciplines of the arts. It's always going to be a mixture, and how we support the learners, except for, there's a couple of weeks that are going to be straight, straight discipline. All right, wait a moment. Okay, now be reassured too, these lectures are recorded. So if you can't make it, watch the recording. Okay, assessment 1, essay, cross-cultural perspectives on the arts in the early years, referring to current literature and curriculum documents. So cross curriculum. Let's go to the first thing. So it is an essay. Assignment 1 is an essay, the arts in the early years. Due date, like I said, 4th of September, 11:55. We usually leave try and push it as further away in the day as possible. So at night, weighting is 50%. Length is 2,500. So quite a big one. And that's excluding references. So it is designed to enable students to demonstrate a solid understanding of cross-cultural perspectives on the arts in the early years with reference to current research and literature. So like I said, go back to those recommended readings and the text and the literature that has been provided to you, and try and use the subject research, okay? All right, so let me have a look here. Okay, so you're going to reference the ways in which young children's ideas, thoughts, and feelings are created and interpreted through the arts. So that's all disciplines: visual media arts, dance, drama, music. And you are going to make links to the academic literature, of course, theories and research, the arts in young children's lives through a knowledge of national and international perspectives. Okay, so critically and reflectively investigate and describe ways in which young children's ideas, thoughts, and feelings are created and interpreted through the arts. Now, we're going to be talking about play-based learning. We're going to be talking about authentic arts praxis. We are going to be talking about provocations, the way we support learners, we extend their knowledge, their life experiences that they have, their interests, throughout these 12 weeks. Okay, so the discussion should demonstrate an informed understanding of the nature of arts as relevant to young children. So that more or less it is why is the arts in the curriculum? Why is it important for children to have a grounding in the arts? Why is it important that we as educators support the children in the arts? So arts education. You know, why is it in the curriculum? It wouldn't be in the curriculum if there wasn't, you know, so much research about the benefits. So it's important that you establish that within your essay. So young children's meaning making through the arts, communicating and developing understandings of physical and social worlds through arts, building on or integrated into previous discussion. Consider how the arts provide young children with a range of expressive languages. How do the arts support the developmental learning areas, social, emotional, physical, cognitive areas, spiritual areas. The discussion should consider young children's engagement in the arts across various years and settings such as homes, communities, early childhood settings. So, you know, how do we as educators extend that learning from home? You know, their interest from home, their cultural connection to the arts. Demonstrate an informed understanding of young children's artistic expressions through their exchanges, interactions, observations, and communication with resources. Australian Indigenous perspectives, of course, have to be established in there. How do we cater for the diverse learner? Has to be established in there too, in the critical reflection. So consider the unique contributions of Australian Indigenous art in context of early childhood and care. So how is it embedded and embodied within the education of young children? Okay, so I'll leave that there. I want you to go through and have a good look at that essay. If you've got any questions, bring them to me next week and we can have a bit of a Q&A about the first assignment. But please get your head around that. Try to start gathering some research on why the arts is important in early childhood, the benefits of the arts to the learner in all the developmental areas and so on. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to go through too much of the unit outline. I'm going to leave that to you. Please, 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 if you've got any questions, then, you know, bring them to this tutorial or put them up on the forum, the discussion forum. Okay, so let's get into, hang on a moment. I will just.
Miss?
Yes?
I was wondering about the first essay. I think I've made like a skeleton structure, like how it's supposed to be. But,
is that you, Nabisi?
Gibby. Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, Nabudi?
In the BC.
Nabusi. Hey, I can't hear you. Can you talk up a little bit?
I kind of created like a skeleton plan or outline for this essay, but I'm wondering because there seems to be like 3 points, and outline I made like 4 points. It's confusing. So am I supposed to break up one of those points into another one? Make it separate, or is it supposed to be like 3 points and then extra point that I make up?
Do you mean credit points?
No, I'm talking about the points that are mentioned in the rubric.
Oh, in the rubric? Hang on, I'll get the rubric up. Do you mean this?
Yeah, like when it says the arts in young children's lives, young children's meaning making through the arts. I always see 3 points when to write this one. I think I like needed to have 4 points instead, because that would make it.
I would try and include as much information as I could. Okay, so to support how does the art support learners? So you need to, and how do the arts support diverse learners? So you really need to try and don't as much say, okay, I'm going to include 4 points. You know, if you can include all the points, then so be it. That's what you should be doing. Okay. I'll just go through this now. So the arts in young years' lives demonstrate a critical knowledge of the national and international perspectives, ways in which young children's ideas, thoughts and feelings. So exactly what we were talking about. Excuse me. You will see though that this follow this rubric and make sure that you are ticking that all off. Are you talking about there's 4 sections to this rubric?
I don't know how there are 3 points to this in this rubric. It talks about the Australian Indigenous perspective. It talks about the arts in the young children's lives, and then it talks about what was the one above?
How arts provide young children with a range of expressive languages through which they communicate and develop understanding of their physical and social worlds. So that's really the supporting the developmental areas. And, you can talk about authentic arts there, and you can talk about the visual literacies that arts can support oral and visual literacies. So there's quite a few points, but you need to do the research on these, on the different facets for this essay. So really, it's early days right now, but if you just get your head around the structure and having to do a reflective essay and gathering all the research first, then you're making a good start to that. You're gathering your research. Okay.
I've already come up with the introduction, but I'm kind of struggling with the body.
Pardon?
I've already come up with my introduction, but I'm just struggling with the body.
It's research though. So you really have to do that. You have to do the groundwork first. Yeah. So you have to really look at why the arts support the learner. What are the benefits? What is the research behind why we have the arts in the curriculum, and why we explore the arts within the classroom. Okay.
Some of the research I found, that might be websites or blogs. I'm not sure if I can include that, because it really does mention the benefits of arts, but they're like blog websites. I'm not sure if I can include those unless I reference them.
Yeah, what I'm saying though is go to the reading list and go and have a look at the text, and that's probably a good start before all the work has sort of been done for you guys. So use the the subject list of readings and go through that and try and get as much evidence to support your assumptions. Okay. Listen, if you've got any more questions, then and you're finding it a little bit difficult, just send me an email and I'll try and answer as many of your questions. I'll answer all of them, of course. Okay. But we'll move on to the tutorial now. We have got a little bit of time to discuss that assessment. So just try and get your head around the assessment task now, and then you can ask more and more questions as you go through it. But yeah, there's a lot of self-explanatory stuff in there too. All right. Okay. So I'll move on to the tute. All right, so let's get started. All right, I'm going to minimize you guys. All right, so of course, I want to acknowledge this tute has been written by Eva Nesliv, myself, and Kathleen Plasto. So we do endeavour to give you as much praxis-based exploration as possible. let's get into this though. Aesthetics are fundamental to children's learning. Now, aesthetics, you know, and I've said this before, if you have had me before in a tutorial. So one person's beauty is another person's disgust. You know, something that is beautiful to you might have a different meaning to others.
Is it one man's treasure is one man's treasure, that man's treasure?
Yeah, well, sort of. But if children do not learn to appreciate beauty, so we want to expose children to an explosion of different things, because we need them to start to create their own views or start to develop their own views. So if children do not learn to appreciate beauty, they may not be able to create beauty, and we want them to. So, but like I said, you know, one person's beauty, you know, might be another person's horror. Now, I've been into the art gallery before, and you probably have also, and you've seen paintings up on the wall that you actually, you know, you're thinking, oh, no, I just don't get it. I don't like it. But then another person might come and stand next to you and they totally get it. They're like, oh my God, that's the most magnificent painting that I've ever seen. So we all have different tastes, but aesthetics is a personal thing. So, but we need to teach, well, we don't need to teach, we need to support the children's exploration of aesthetics. The environment is an aesthetic resource, and it's one in early childhood settings that we use all the time. Schools, primary schools, secondary schools, in adulthood, the natural environment is what is the source of aesthetic exploration. So the environment is an aesthetic resource that children use intuitively to develop their creativity. And the senses are the means to use this. So our sense of smell, our sense of sight, our sense of taste. So waking your senses. So I want you to think about something from your childhood. I want you to think about you as a child. I want you to think of a smell that you smell now, but you related to something in your childhood. Okay, so I want you, it evokes memories, it evokes a good feeling, a feeling of happiness in you. Now, can we share that? And I know myself, if I smell my parents, my mother and father made a really, really good Irish stew. So when I smell that smell, which I rarely do, only when I cook, then it evokes memories of my childhood, because, you know, cooking, and especially a good stew, was, you know, a really nice way to sit down on a Sunday. So does anybody else have anything else to share? What about you, Christina?
Yeah, I actually have the same thing. So I'm actually Greek, and when it comes around at Easter time, we always bake with my grandmother, like these kind of like cookies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And every year, no matter if I'm with her or not, that smell just takes me back to when I was a little girl cooking in her kitchen.
Yeah, isn't that great? And I think it's, I think, you know, I can smell perfume. My mum used to wear 7-Eleven. Now it's a perfume that, you know, you sort of you equate with older people. But if I smell 7-Eleven, that perfume, then I think of my mother, because my mother used to wear that perfume all the time. So I can really relate to you, and having a Greek background, how fabulous is that? Your the food must have been magnificent.
Oh, yes.
How good. So anybody else, would anyone else like to share? You know, it might be a flower. It might be, oh, I don't know. What smell now evokes some beautiful memories of your childhood?
For me, it's the smell of baby.
The babies?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you've got children?
Yes, my son is 8 years old now, but I still think he has that smell of baby.
Smell the baby? How nice. I'm the same too. I've got 3 girls, And that newborn baby smell, oh my gosh, you know, it just does evoke a lot of it makes me a little bit teary actually, because I think, oh my God, my girls are 30, 29 and 21 now. So yeah, time goes by. Does anybody else want to share? And we are talking about aesthetics, and this is part of aesthetics, our use of our senses, or our natural ability to use our senses. So every time you take out material for children to use, think about them sensorily. Okay, so and I'll ask you why that's important later. What about tactile? Something that you touch that evokes some sort of memory.
Whenever I would walk in the sun, I remember my time spent in Dubai. So basically, back then I lived right close to the beach. So if sometimes my siblings and I, or my mom and I would go down to the plaza and walk along on the beach, just basically look at the ocean and the waves crashing.
Nice. So is it the sense of the sand?
Yeah.
Is that the feeling of the sand? Yeah, I love the sand too. I'm with you. I love that. I love that sensation. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody else want to touch on tactile or oral? What about oral? So sound, so music even. I know there's lots and lots of different music that really evokes some really good times in my head. I'm a real big fiend for going to live music. And I know from my childhood, if I hear, you know, The Cure, then it takes me back to my teenage years. What about you guys?
So there's one song that my now husband played when he proposed to me. So every time I hear that song, it just takes me straight back to that
that's
time.
so cute. What song?
It's Let's Get Married by Jagged Edge.
You know what? Was that on High School Musical?
No, I don't think so.
No, because I recently went to a wedding, and that It's a Beautiful Night. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
That's
no,
Bruno Mars
not that one,
Married.
not
Not
that one.
That's
That one
by
is
Bruno Mars.
it's the other one says, I just want to get married. Meet me at the altar. That one?
Nice. How
Yeah.
cute is that? So that's
Yeah,
just going to be
very
stuck
cute.
with
Glee
you.
song.
That's
It's
so
like a Glee
lovely. You know
song.
what I sung to my husband on my wedding
No, I
night?
think they sang a cover of it, but it's not a Glee song. They sang a cover of it. I think
What's
that's
that?
when
It's from Jagged Edge.
Right.
That's who sings it.
At my wedding, at the reception, I sang Wild Thing to my husband
Oh, did you?
with the band.
Wild Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So every time I hear that song, it just makes me laugh. But anyway, that's another story for another time.
Mine,
that's nice.
I hear 1,000 years. I think about Twilight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See,
No, 1,000 miles.
rightio. So, you know, music is one of those, music evokes a lot of memories, a lot
Yeah.
of, so you've got that oral aesthetics, you know, and it brings back good times. It can bring back sad times.
mine
Have
would be
oral
Sad Times.
hallucinations.
Sad times?
Yeah, mine would be Soul Man.
Can you tell us why?
Well, when I was little, like my sister and I used to do road trips with my dad,
Yeah.
and like we would drive like to Sydney,
Yeah.
and that was like the song that he would always used to play on the cassette, like in the car on repeat. And like in 2020, like the midst of COVID, he passed away, and that was like one of the main songs that.
It's a lovely memory though. So that if that song comes on the radio, that would just, if I hear it now, I'm going to tear up for you.
It definitely makes me tear up. Like,
yeah,
I like hearing it, but I'm like,
I know, so sad. And sometimes I guess that's the beauty of memories, isn't it? But there's
definitely
a lot of things that spark that aesthetic ability in all of us, or that sensation in all of us. Thanks for sharing that. That's very special. Now, what about visual? Anything visual that evokes something aesthetically pleasing to you? Hey, Michelle, I haven't seen you for a while.
Hi, sorry, I was at work.
You're back.
I'm late. I'm here. I don't know how
No,
long
you're
for,
right.
but I'm
You're
here.
right. I didn't mean I haven't seen you for a while. I just
I know.
remember you. That's
Yeah,
all.
thanks. Yeah, I got to play in the studio last time. I was wondering whether that might happen
That's
again.
right. You did. Yeah, you did. You came
Yeah.
in and joined me. That's
Yeah,
funny.
in
Yeah, that's
COVID.
right.
Yeah. It was cool.
So anything visual? Michelle, you do you want to share, or Michaela? Michaela, you unmuted then.
Colors?
Probably right now, low petrol prices, like awesome memories.
Got that stuck in your head. I know, isn't
Yeah.
it ridiculous?
Yeah, it's
Petrol.
just crazy right now, but
I know. Sunday
One
drives
day.
are right out the door.
yeah, definitely.
Crazy.
I've got a child's story about waking your senses. And it's he's actually a really gifted and talented little boy, but and it just shows how combining all of the senses is really effective for their learning. So we did this relaxation kind of drama combination experience where they were laying down and I think they were cold. And so I got out this beautiful, rich, it's like a burnt orange piece of satin. It's quite large. And I waved it all over them and touched them. And then I talked about that it was from the sun and it represented the sun's rays.
Yeah.
And that it was like a sunset. And could they feel that warming their bodies?
Oh.
And then the next day, and I don't know whatever else I said about it, but the next day I was at a drawing table and there was this matching orange texture that was exactly the same color as that sunset.
Well thought out there, Michelle.
Oh, well, it was, no, this is his thinking, not mine. So he picked it up and he started drawing, and he's not actually doesn't do a lot of drawing.
Yeah.
And then he did this block color of orange, and then he drew this blue line. And I said, tell me about your picture. And he said, I'm drawing the sunset, remember?
Oh.
And I just went, oh my God, you've made a connection, because that was a sensory experience.
Yeah, with the piece of material.
Really connected that.
And the color.
Yeah.
Isn't that
and then
gorgeous?
He just represented it. Yeah, beautiful. And like little, he's only 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just shows how that triggers learning for, children.
That's right. That's right. And sensory in early childhood is so important. That's why we have those sensory bags, and we go out into nature and we pick up things and we feel things and we look at things and we observe them and we draw them and play with them. Like it is so important in early childhood to explore and let ourselves go, because there's some time in our life where we all become really inhibited by life or our self-efficacy or whatever. But we've always got an aesthetic ability to appreciate the beauty in lots of different forms, and that's what we want the children to appreciate, to have that empathy for others, that aesthetic beauty, to see the best in what's happening, see the beauty in the visual, the tactile, the oral. What about taste? I know we had hang on a minute, I'm going to learn your names. Christina, who was talking about her beautiful, what do you call your grandma?
Oh, I call her Yaya.
What is it?
Yaya.
Yaya.
Yeah.
How nice, how
Yeah.
cute. Yeah. So taste-wise, it would be those biscuits.
Yeah, or it's actually kind of more the smell of when they're baking.
When they're baking, what about something that's the taste?
Look, one of my favorite meals that's very hard to pronounce though, but when I do eat it, no matter where I am, it does take me back to her kitchen when I first ate them when I was little.
Yeah.
They're kind of like it's cabbage and it's like stuffed with rice and meat.
Oh, yum. Okay.
Yeah. So that was
not
kind of
talk
like
about food. It's like wrong time of night to talk about food, isn't it? We'll all get hangry.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. We'll move
You're
on.
welcome.
So actually, every time you take out material for children to use, think about them sensorily. Why? Well, Michelle, you sort of hit that on the head, because that's the reason, you know, developing those beautiful visual literacies and oral literacies just through those sensations of being. Okay, so after each sensory slide, draw what you are feeling. So I'm going to get you to tap into your creative side now. I want you to, have you each got a pen and pencil? Or
I'll have to go get one.
Pen and paper, pen and pencil, pen and paper. It can be anything.
Yeah.
I will, from now on, I'll give you a list of things. I don't know whether I did it in the email, give you a list of resources to collect. So you've got them on hand for our tutes. So I'm going to get you to tap into your creative side and express yourself through your pencil. So you're going to do a bit of drawing, and you're going to draw what you feel. Okay, so like the slide says, it's not, you know, you're not going to get tested on this. You don't need to share it if you don't want to. It's not your ability that we're tapping into. It might be that the sensation of looking at these things might be circular movements. You know, it's up to you how you want to portray the sensory. Okay, so I'm going to
Victoria, can I just add something quickly?
Yeah.
So when you were talking, I know this is way back, about the 7-Eleven perfume your mum used to have.
Yeah.
My mum overheard and she's like, oh my goodness, I remember that perfume. Like, she's like, my grandmother used to have that exact same one.
Well, that's
the
thing.
And because now she's lost her smell, but she's like, oh, I actually could still remember the smell of it.
That's right. And you know what? That's incredible, Michaela, because just that, you know, your mum losing it. So she's lost her sense of smell?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But the memory still lingers on in your brain. You know, it doesn't matter what. I had a friend who had a stroke, and the part of the brain that got damaged was her memory, of course. But I bought in some lipstick for her. This was into the hospital, lipstick, and I bought in, you know, some little soaps, and that one of the soaps, which was I think it was rose, I can't remember, it had a rose hip and rose, like a light rose smell to it, and she just started tearing up and she said, oh my God, you know, I haven't smelt this and since I was such and such age. And I was like, oh my God, Stephanie, you know, you've actually lost your memory, but that actually triggered something in her. So it's incredible how our brain works. So it must have been something that was aesthetically pleasing to her at that, you know, at that time of life.
Yeah. But
yeah, crazy. Okay, so I've got this slide, the smell of fragrant flowers. Okay. We all have, I'm sure we all have some favorite fragrant flower that we just absolutely adore. So I want you to think about the feeling of flowers on your skin. And I don't know whether anyone has run through a paddock of sunflowers or daisies or whatever, hopefully not bitten or stung by a whole lot of bees. But I'm just thinking, you know, like what does a field of flowers evoke to you? Maybe it evokes nothing. Maybe it does, you know, maybe it brings back something that's quite pleasing to you, aesthetically, you know, beautiful to you. I've just written here, imagine running through a field of fragrant flowers. So if you haven't been through a field, or you haven't rubbed up against, you know, maybe some herbs in a herb garden, then maybe you can just imagine that feeling of running through. I know I went to a wedding at in Toowoomba, and it was in the Botanical Gardens, and where it was positioned was right next to all the herbs. So they got a herb garden, I guess. And every time the bride brushed up against, oh gosh, I think it was rosemary. It was just, no, lemon balm. Just the smell of lemon balm wafted through us, because it was only like 20 people there. And Now when I smell lemon balm, it just makes me think of Kim and Chris's wedding now, you know, like, so it just, yeah. Anyway, think about it and draw, please. So I'm just going to give you some time to do a little bit of a sketch. Might be some scribbles, it might just be shapes, it might be whatever you want it to be, okay? So it's not meant to be a hard task. So I'm hoping you grasp that. I'll go through the next slide though while we are at it. So the smell of fragrant flowers. So you can choose one. Try and think back to a time where you were walking on sand with your bare feet, or through wet leaves or dry, crunchy leaves. Think about what it feels like to walk on fallen leaves. So something like that might be, you know, I think every one of us at some time has walked on leaves. I know children, when, you know, when the leaves have fallen from the trees and they're crunchy on the ground, they love stamping on it. I think it's the sound. I think it's the sensation on their feet, you know, and that feeling in the sandpit too, and on the beach of beautiful warm sand. Yeah, think about that. And the next one, oh, I've got a photo, and this might give you some sort of inspiration, I guess. Not that we have rocks or anything, but this photo depicts the exploration of the water. So the ripples of the water. And they are, the ripples of the water are depicted in this sand sculpture, or this sand drawing using pebbles. So as simple as that. So if the ripples of water remind you of a spiral or something like that, then so be it. If you know, walking on crunchy leaves reminds you, you know, makes you think of jagged lines or whatever, then so be it, and so on. So just try and tap into your creative side and come up with some sort of expression. You know, like I said, it's not on your ability to draw, it's on that trying to explore aesthetics and that sensation. Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording, but can you make sure that you tell me to unpause, because sometimes I don't do that. Okay, I'll leave you be for a bit and you can explore.
Sorry, can I just quickly ask, are we
Yes.
are we drawing all those sensations or just one?
No, you can choose one, or you can do all of them.
Okay.
If you want to do it in one continuous line, then so be it. It's just your own creative expression. Okay, it's the way you are depicting it in your brain. Okay, so one or all of them, doesn't really matter. Recording. Would you like to share? Now I'm looking over that way. You're going to see me, because I've just worked out that I can have your faces on the screen over here, and then I can do my slides here. I'm so clever tonight. I've just worked it out because I'm on a split screen, which I never usually am. So do we want to share? Oh, what have you got? Do you want to share, Nabusi? Oh, unmute.
I just use symbols, nothing really. I don't know if you can see it. Just like
Okay. So you've got some symbols.
yeah, like I think I drew waves and a couple of spirals, because that really just makes you, it takes you to a not a state of being, like exist of consciousness, like it takes you back to a different memory.
Yeah, nice. Great.
When you smell flowers, when you touch them, I think you're just lost in the softness of the flowers, or maybe the hardness you're taken by the textures.
Yeah, the different textures of the flowers. Yeah, thank you for that. Does anybody else want to share what they had or what they drew?
Yeah, I don't mind.
So you're in a safe space, Christina.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. I'm no artist, I can tell you that much. So
you will be by 12 weeks.
So I
we're all
I'll bring it
artists,
up.
Christina.
That's
We're
right.
all artists.
We're all inner artists. Oh, hang on a moment. Hang on. Look, I'm going to be looking over at this screen.
All right. So I'll bring it up.
Oh, nice.
So basically, that's a little bit of a bittersweet kind of image of myself going through the fragrant flowers. It's sweet because like I'm a sucker for really fruity scents. I love the smell of scents. But But for me, it's a little bitter because when I was younger, I was always outside and running through fields of grass and that. And I've got terrible sensitive skin. So I would always get bitten by mosquitoes, or flowers would affect me, or I'd have, some sort of irritation in my feet. So for me, it's kind of like a bittersweet moment. That's why I've got the rainbow, like a pretty rainbow, and the, smell on the top. And then at the bottom, I've got that terrifying, like, bugs all around me.
So you've got the love there.
Got the love, and then I've got the not so great experience.
Yeah.
I did
Oh my
something
God.
similar.
I could see trauma at the bottom of that picture. I was like, I wonder what the trauma is there.
All those
I was
pencil
definitely
marks.
traumatized. I'm running in that field to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did something similar. I can show mine. Different version.
Oh.
I did like up here is like the sweet scent of the flowers running through it, but then I
nice.
did like the jagged lines for like being itchy on the legs running through it.
That's what I was
Yeah.
Have we all got that? So we've got actually, me putting that up has evoked a lot of trauma in you guys. Really,
Yeah.
really.
Oh, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
I love the smell of flowers. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no. I know exactly.
I just won't walk through them. I rather hold them.
You know what? It would be lovely to how you see it on the movies, these girls and the fellas, they're rolling around in the flowers and that. Could you imagine in Australia how many times we would be bitten by something? There would be something in those flowers that would be biting us. Oh my God. Yeah.
I reckon behind the scenes they all get attacked as well. They just look pretty in the photos.
I reckon too. I reckon they're
They all have
virtually put
vertex.
into a field of flowers. All right. Does anybody else want to share, or will we move on? We're all good? Okay, because I've got some more for you. Just wait. All right. So I've got this. Actually, have you ever heard of an artist called Andy Goldsworthy? So he is an ephemeral artist. So his artworks, like he might do a thatched, weaved a whole lot of sticks, and it will be enormous, and then he'll just plant it into a forest. So then when you're walking through the forest, you see this frame of, thatched wood pieces, and that's his sculpture. And you see the perspective in the background. Or have you ever driven, it's not an Andy Goldsworthy sculpture, but it's inspired by him, because I think he was the one that did it, first did it. The stacks of stones on top of each other. Is there anybody from far north Queensland here tonight? No? Okay. So along the Port Douglas Road, there's a beach, and you can just drive off, and you're directly nearly on the beach. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stacked stones everywhere, and it's like a little city, but it's stacked stones. You know what I mean? Stone upon stone upon stone upon stone.
I've seen that in Coogee in Sydney and Queenstown in New Zealand. So I feel like that's a popular.
It is a popular thing, because
sculpture.
Yes, it is, and it is, because it's stacking stones, but you find them everywhere. Like you might go to a creek at Dayborough, and you'll be sitting in the creek, and then all of a sudden in the distance you see stacked stones. But I just think it's beautiful. I think, oh my gosh, people have taken the time to do that. It's just a real sensory Zen sort of thing to do. Well, this one here, the one on the screen that I've shared, this depicts the spiral off a fern, but as you can see, it is made out of stones, and the stones have actually been cut cut in half. So his placement is very, very detailed in its form. But the sensor, in the playground, if you were to just have a provocation of stones, a pile of stones sitting there, hopefully the kids wouldn't just throw them around, but they would actually place them and make a drawing of them. Now it gets a little bit hairy, because I know at one of our schools a long time ago, we had a little boy, he would see a stone, he'd just throw it at the building, you know, so you know, you might want to get some other resources than stones. But what a pity, because stones have got that cold sensation. They're rough, they can be rough, they can be smooth, you know. I've been for a massage where hot stone massage is just the most delightful thing. Okay, and this is another one. So this is, you know, the closer the stones are, the more tonal value there is, I guess. So the beautiful placement of stones. This is another one of Andy Goldsworthy. So if you're interested, look at Andy Goldsworthy's work, because it might be something that you would like to do in the playground, or like to do in the childcare centre that you work at, or, you know, afternoon school, or wherever you work, you know, even in your garden, because I've actually made some beautiful weaving sculptures in my garden. All right, so let's move on. Oh, the ripples of the ocean depicted by lines in the sand. So providing the children with rakes so they can, you know, do that Zen, you know, that exploration of the sand. And it's like drawing on the sand. You know, I love walking along the beach and seeing the children's drawings, because I remember I used to do that when I was a kid. Draw. And you know, it's going to be there for, you know, maybe a couple of hours before the tide turns, and then it's gone. It just vanishes.
I did that actually for NAIDOC week.
You did?
Yeah, with my toddlers, just to support their connection with land.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah. It is beautiful. It is beautiful working with the sand. I used to take a gifted and talented program at an environmental centre, and we used to go down to the beach, and we would, you know, I'd talk about the mangrove forests and you know, different aspects of the environment. But we would do sand sculptures and, you know, paint and all sorts of things. But it is that lovely connection with natural resources that I really love, because it's not going to be there for long. So it's back to the earth, you know, like it's that sort of Buddhist way of thinking, or, you know, that First Peoples way of thinking, that connection to the earth. So nice.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got some.
Can I add to that?
Oh,
Can I add to that?
Yes.
And it helps them to just deal with process rather than product.
Yeah, that's
creating something
right.
that they get to take home.
That's
so
right.
That they're just enjoying the process.
Making and the responding, and not so much there's got to be a means to an ends, you know. Although the making process, there is a means to an ends, because you're making it, but it's not there forever. Okay, so I've got some videos for you to have a look at, and I'm going to play one for you, but we are going to answer these questions, and then we'll do another little segment of art. Oh, you know, I think you might have done it before though, Michelle. I hope I'm not going to bore you. So in this video, when you watch the video, I want you to look for evidence of learning in the areas described in the learning outcomes of the ELF document. And I've got the ELF document on my slides, so we'll go to those in a moment. And the NQS documents, but we'll go to those, the national quality standards, but we'll go and have a look at those. But I want you to have a look at the learning that is taking place within the video. And I'll just play one video, because we will end up running out of time. Focus on one child's interactions, the dialogue, and relate this to several aspects of the child's developmental milestones, okay? So personal, social, cultural experiences, social, emotional, physical, cognitive. So, but let's focus in on social, emotional. All right, so let me see. I think I've got it up here. Hang on. No. I think I've got, actually, no, I'm going to go back to the tute. I'll click on this. And then I'll go, and then I'll show you a finger painting one. Okay, so can you see this video? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to my tute notes and you will see that I have the learning outcomes of the ELF document. So what we might do is just concentrate on this for tonight so I can get you creating again. So first learning outcome is children have a strong sense of identity. The second learning outcome is children are connected with and contribute to their world. And then on the next slide, children have a strong sense of well-being. Children are confident and involved learners, and children are effective communicators. So going back to my question, and that was, what evidence of learning in the areas described in the learning outcomes do you see? Okay, and just, you can focus on one child or a number of children in that video, but what outcome would you focus on, or what outcomes would you associate with what's
learning outcome? I think I'd focus on learning outcome 1. They developed a strong sense of identity. Like that little girl with a handbag, she looked like she was going out. Way that she was carrying her purse when she was walking, I think it's just representative of like either your mom or your dad going out when they're like have a date or something. She just gave that kind of, exuded that kind of atmosphere.
And what would you say? Would you say children, which one of these of the outcomes would you say?
They developed knowledge and confidence, self-identities. They developed their emerging autonomy, interdependence, resilience, and sense of agency.
Yes, that's right. I think so too, because she had that confidence, didn't she? She was sort of establishing that confident self-identity within her role play. Yep. Yeah. Would anybody else? Would anybody else like to add to that?
I think in general, just all the children were like learning to interact with each other. Yeah, like, so, you know, whether like they showed empathy or care or respect, they were still respecting one another as they were, you know, engaging in their play.
Yep. So 1.4, children learn to interact in relation to others with care, empathy, and respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you see any bickering going on?
I thought I saw the kids arguing with the teacher. I'm not sure. Maybe they're having a conversation. They develop a sense of belonging to groups, so they see the teacher as not a person, not an individual like themselves. They have their own opinions. They're trying to. At the moment, they're still kind of think their opinions right, but they're trying to.
Yeah, and I think the teacher was getting involved because I think she was buying a coffee from the shop.
There was no actual bickering though between them.
No, I think it was more conversation. It was more organizing rather than.
But even the other children as well, like when the other girl pulled her hand back, there wasn't any, you know, angst or bickering. It was they were just interacting with each other.
Yeah, that's right. And I think
That's
that's
part of their role play.
that is the beauty of role playing, isn't it? They, you know, like you just
They understand that it's not actually for them to take it personal. They're putting on an act and they're taking on a specific role.
Yeah. And of course you're going to get some, you know, in some circumstances you are going to have that child who, you know, like they're not getting their coffee on time or whatever, so they might go off in a half. I'm sure we've all experienced that one. They don't get their way, or they're not given the role as a princess, and that's what they wanted to be. But it is that, you know, like role play, dramatic role play is it can be a source of problem solving, you know, like that they can problem solve and try and work it out and get and create, you know, you as a teacher support resilience in that world. Would anyone else like to add? Because we've got more outcomes here, of course.
I think they all showed that they were effective communicators and
Yep.
they were like interacting with each other.
Yep. Verbally and non-verbally.
Yeah, I think so. Because they were using their hand movements to speak with each other as well as saying what they wanted.
Yeah. And that's and it was a shop. It was a coffee shop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I took out of that.
Little fruit.
So I'm thinking monkey see, monkey do, you know, that is part of dramatic play. It's their experiences. So, and yeah, that's the beauty of role play.
Did anyone talk about learning outcome 4.1?
4.1?
Yeah.
Children develop dispositions for learning such as curiosity, cooperation, confidence, creativity. Yep. Yes. Commitment, enthusiasm, persistence, imagination, and reflex.
During that symbology using role play, they're using their imagination, creativity, and they're being really enthusiastic about it. They're getting really into the role.
Yeah, they do. They get totally engrossed, don't they?
Yeah, they were also really curious. They showed confidence, and they were working together. So there was cooperation.
Yeah.
They 4.2, they develop a range of skills and processes such as problem solving, inquiry, experimentation. This is probably the time they're also during the Vignet. They were also like, I think that child was asking the teacher a question, they're involving them, they're researching, investigating, and I'm pretty sure they'll adapt what they've learned there in that scenario, or maybe they'll take it with them home. And they'll probably adapt and transfer it there. So 4.3 also comes to mind.
Yeah. Thanks, Nabusi. You've got that's a lot of input. That's great. Would anybody else like to have a bit of input?
I feel like they kind of touch on most of the learning outcomes some way or another.
Yeah.
Because no one would think that they'd be engaging with text, but there's text all around them, all the images of the till and the writing and the, you know, so they are engaging with those things.
Yeah.
Symbols,
Symbolism,
words,
the money.
letters are symbols, you know. So they're being introduced to that. So it pretty much touches on a range of things.
Yeah, that's right. And there are oral literacies.
Yeah,
you know, like that they're exploring that language.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
developing that language.
Yep.
And then
they're potentially transferring what they have learned from their context outside. You know, I'm sure they've been
That's
to a
right.
coffee shop with their parents and they've seen, you know, the logistics of that, and they're, you know, bringing that into their play.
Yeah, correct. And you can imagine as they get older, you know, it comes out in their writing. So that play-based learning, that dramatic exploration, dramatic play is so enriching to their writing. So when it comes to your assessment, you know, have a look at the ELF document, have a look at the standards document, you know, like that they are hyperlinked there for a reason. So have a good look at them. I'm trying to get them up. So the National Quality Standard, have a good look at these documents and use them to support your assumptions and your statements. Okay, so I'll go back to my tutorials. Where's the time? 6:52. Okay, so I'm going to move on from this one and we might come back to it. So aesthetic sensibility refers to our individual perception of the art, our judgments and our reasoning as to whether we find value in it. Why do children need to understand the qualities of artworks? We might tap into that next week. I want you to, I'm going to skip ahead and we might come back to this. All right, Michelle, did we do a continuous line drawing?
Yep, but they're fun.
But yes, so I might put you into breakout rooms. Now, the aim of this one and why I want to do this is because I want to break the ice. So I want you guys to meet each other. Plus two, I want you to see the value in why we do it within the classroom too. This is an observational drawing technique, and continuous line portrait drawing is really that, that support of social and emotional development, so particularly social. So what's going to happen is you are going to be paired with someone and you are going to draw them, okay, without lifting your pen off the page. So it means you must have a pen, you must have a piece of paper. You are not allowed to lift your, oh gosh, I hope I'm recording this. Hang on a moment. Oh yeah, I am. Good. You are not allowed to lift your pen off the page for any reason, okay? Now, hang on a moment. Can you see the page behind me here? So if you start off with, or I'm going to pretend I'm looking at someone. If you start off with the focus point off the face, I tend to do this in most of my tutorials because it is an observational drawing technique. Okay, we're pretending that I'm actually have someone in front of me. So I'm using one continuous line. I'm sitting down though, I'm being a bit lazy. Okay, so I haven't lifted my pen up at all.
You've done this before.
I've done it like
ours isn't going to look like that.
50 million times.
I didn't even think to start that way.
Oh, you don't start with the focal point?
Like I said, I'm not very artistic.
Have you done this in the classroom before? Michelle, did you do it? Have you done it before in the classroom?
Yeah, but it's a very different response.
With the
3
little ones?
and 4-year-olds.
Because
But it is good fun, and it is great
it is
socially.
good fun, and the little ones can do it. Oh, I've got an elongated face here. Okay.
Is that your dream guy?
Huh? My dream guy?
Yeah.
With an elongated face. Oh, I forgot to put his little wrinkles in over there. Anyway, one continuous line. So if I was to unravel that, if I was to put a piece of string over that and unravel it, then it will probably go for meters. Okay. So your challenge is you cannot lift your pen off the page. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Yep.
Good one. All right. How many off it? Okay. So 18. So that's, if I put you into 2, so 18 divided by 2 is 9. So I'll put you into groups of 9. So I'll put you into some breakout rooms. So 9 breakout rooms. Hopefully everyone's still online. Otherwise, if you don't end up with someone, just come out of the breakout room and you can draw me.
We can write their name. I'm sure I don't have to lift my pen off for that.
Well, you can do that if you want. You can do yourself too. You've got to Zoom it yourself, so you could do yourself. Okay, I'm going to give you, how long do you reckon? It only took me like not even a minute.
You're a profesh, maybe 2 minutes for us.
They have something new called a whiteboard. Have you seen it? It's down at the bottom beside reactions. Could we try using those?
No. No, we're not using whiteboards. I'm not doing that, because if I lose you, I have to come back here tomorrow and record by myself. So I'm not losing anything until I'm really over, on top of this. Yeah. So don't put any more obstacles in my way. I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. Okay. So you're going to draw each other. Okay. I'll see you soon. Cynthia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you able to get into one?
Yeah.
I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, how did you all go?
Actually really hard. It doesn't turn out anything like you are expecting.
show me. Put them up.
I didn't really have anyone in my room, so I just drew myself.
Oh, that's okay. That's good. Yeah, they look good. Michelle, put it up again.
I feel like it's actually like made out of wire because it's like one can tell that it's one continuous.
Yeah.
And I did the glasses and I went back, oh, I didn't do the pupil. So now I've got to go back.
Or chin. You haven't got a chin either.
No, because I couldn't get there. I was at the top. I was like, I could have gone down through the hair. I could have,
Nice.
yeah.
Georgia, that's looking good. Good. Hang on, I'm trying to focus. Oh, nice. I like it.
That one's going to be very different.
Talia, come on. Oh, nice. Are they all trying to stop it? It's not. Look, you know what? Continuous line, and you have so much fun in the classroom. And Michelle, with the older classes, I usually do get them to do a wire with the, continuous wire. And they love it. They love it. Okay, so next challenge. So I'm going to put you into, Nabisi, I'm going to try, and Annalise, I don't think you were with anyone either. So anyway, I'm going to do 8 rooms. So if you end up with 3 in the breakout room, then so be it. So this time you're going to do a blind continuous line, and I'm not going to give you much time at all. So this time you have to look deep into the eyes of your partner. You've got to look into their eyes. You're not allowed to look down at your page at all. It's got to be one continuous line. And you're not allowed to lift your pen. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Yep.
Oh, you guys are so good. All right. So I'll recreate 8 rooms. Oh, we've got 2 people who've dropped out. I hope it wasn't because we were doing a continuous line. That would be a travesty. Yeah, I am recording this. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to recreate the rooms. So I'll do 8 rooms this time. Hopefully you'll all get another person, but it's blind continuous line drawing. So you're not allowed to look down. You're not allowed to lift your pencil or pen, right? Okay, I'll see you soon. Just going to pause the recording, but have a go at doing this at home with your partner, children, in the mirror. Recording. Oh, you've got to
I
remind
thought you were going to say that about me.
Yep, no, it's not recorded. It's not recorded. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Hang on a moment. Oh, there are my pictures, see? So for those people who are watching this recording, There's some clear instructions there. See, that's what it's meant to look like. No, I'm just joking. Okay. So I think we'll go back to the aesthetics. We'll get that. And then I promise next week we'll do a little bit more of praxis-based exploration, okay? Where am I? Okay, let's go. We'll get through this, that aesthetics. Okay, so how do we foster children's aesthetic sensibilities? We value their discussions, their points of views, of course. And I'm sure you all do that anyway. It's that taking time to listen. Encourage them to talk about likes and dislikes, judgments, decisions about things, because you're trying to instill that empathy and a different viewpoint on life, because some kids are coming with only, you know, their significant other, which is their parent or parents. It might be that it's their grandparents. So it's that other viewpoint. So instilling aesthetic sensibilities, that sense of beauty. Provide multiple opportunities, of course, for exploration and expression. Aim to provide authentic learning. Now, authentic learning is really, really the base of it, because we want them to have value in their learning. So it's not just a carbon copy of everyone, 25 carbon copies. It's not doing the cookie cutter approach, you know, although that's good for technique and, you know, fine motor skills. But we want each child to have their own their autonomy in their creativity. So their mark making is meaning to them. It mightn't make sense to us. It mightn't make sense to anybody else, but it's their creative exploration. So we haven't got 25 of the same visuals, you know, like photocopies, and the only recognizable feature that it is that child's drawing or that child's artwork is their name. We don't want that. We want to tap into their creativity and their sense of aesthetics. Okay, so what do you need? Educators need to develop and enhance their own aesthetic sensibilities. So you need to tap into yours. And we have had a multitude of discussion tonight, and obviously you do have a sense of aesthetics. Guide more effectively, design and prepare meaningful arts experiences, so authentic arts experiences. Lead discussions, provide the words, the feedback, the encouragement, promote quality learning in the arts, and that's key. Okay, what do you need? By providing children with experiences, awakening that expression, awakening that creativity and developing that creativity, giving them a chance to actually explore not just one medium, but a multitude of mediums. I'm sure the early educators online have got collage tables, and they've got their paints, and they've got all sorts of resources that are out. So we want to take on that, you know, that Montessori Reggio approach, where children have got access to a range of resources, a range of materials, so they can self-express. Communicate their knowledge. We were able to provide a means for teaching the fundamentals of aesthetics. So recognizing that their meaning making is their meaning or their knowledge of the world around them, their experiences. So we must discover our place in the natural world, of course, together. How can we nurture ecological identity in young children? So we invite them into the relationship with the world beyond the walls, and with the creatures that live there. So nature, the environment, providing provocations within the classroom, providing all the essential tools for them to explore. And we invite them to come home to the earth. So that sounds really lovely, this slide. I didn't put this in, but it sounds lovely. Yeah, one with nature. So going into the sandpit, setting up a provocation, setting up the means for them to paint, you know, setting up, I know once I planted like gemstones, you know, nice big beautiful stones throughout the sandpit. and they just thought they had discovered gold. You know, the kids, they were running around crazy with these, you know, we've got gemstones, and you know, we talked about it, and then they went and painted themselves actually finding buried treasure. Okay, so we'll go beyond this. Now, I did have another activity for you, but it is 7:15, so maybe we will finish off with this one. This is a contour drawing. It is a pen drawing again, because I did note that you probably all haven't got paint yet. So painting will come next week. We'll explore that. So it does call for an A4 piece of paper, a pen, and coloured pencils. And you're going to let yourself get carried away with this one. So a bit of Zen line work. And I want you to remember, by using lines closer to one another. So I'll get my man down here. Rip the paint off. When you put lines together, then there's going to be a deeper tone. But the more spaced out lines are, of course, then you're going to get that gradation in light. All right. Now, cross-hatching is exactly what it means, going across the line. You can do diagonal cross-hatching. You can do vertical and horizontal cross-hatching. We're actually not going to be exploring cross-hatching, but we're going to explore line. You're not going to do something as intricate as this. You can do that in your own time, though. So after you experiment with the line work on the next slide, try and explore using different perspectives, such as the radial. So this is a radial perspective. So what I want you to do is, and you've probably seen this before, I want you to start by drawing curved lines. So curved lines, and then those curved lines might, you know, connect to each other. So I've written down there that I've done 5 lines, I think it was, approximately five vertical lines. And then in step 2, you're going to draw every second shape, which is this. Every second you're going to curve the lines upward, okay? And then you're going to curve the lines, downward. So, do you understand? Have I explained it? Not that great. So these are, so as you can see in the drawing, see my visuals here on the slide. Step 1, draw the vertical lines, vertical curved lines. Step 2 is start drawing curved horizontal lines in each section. So either the curve goes down in one section and then you space it and then you do it in another one. So every second space is going to be a curve upwards. And then in every first, third and fifth space, the curves are going to go downward. Do you want to have a go at that? Do you understand? Draw downward curved lines within the remaining forms. Step 4, using a coloured pencil, colour the edges of the horizontal shapes. Now, I'll leave that slide up there so you can have a bit of a look at that. But this is really for you to tap into your, you know, to your own creativity, your own Zen, and just have a little bit of a play around with line. Now, next week, I'll go into the elements and principles of art. And we will talk about colour, line, shape, texture, and size, and then the principles of balance, movement, repetition, pattern, and so on. Okay, so that's going to be in more detail. But this is really just to tap into your own creativity and tap into your own aesthetic sensibilities. Okay, so I'm going to pause this recording and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay. You all right? Oh, Michelle, you're well on your way. It is 7:21 now. So if you don't mind, I might leave you guys with that. and you can explore that, you know, in your own time. You know, keep on working on it if you want, but I'm really, really aware that you're probably starving right now, and you need to do things. So what we might do is just end this tutorial now, and anything that I've left out, I'll add to the next slide, the next tutorial, okay? But it's been a pleasure to make sure I'm still recording. Yep. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to meet you all. And if there are any problems or you have any queries, questions, or absolutely anything, you have my email address. Have a look at that first assessment. And if you've got any questions, then make sure you either put them onto the forum or bring them into our next tutorial, and we'll have a bit of a Q&A on that one. Also, if you are just watching the recording and it's not possible for you to get to, you know, to come to the tutorial, then send me an email and just let me know. I did take the roll tonight, so I'll tick off all the names. There were quite a lot of people missing, so I'm hoping everything's okay with people at home. Hope you're all safe and well. But just send me an email if there's any concerns, okay? But otherwise, I'll leave you with it, and I will see you guys next week. Okay.
Thanks, Victoria. Have a great week.
Thank you very much, Victoria. It was nice meeting you.
Lovely meeting you all too, and I'll talk to you next week. Okay.
Bye, Victoria. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much. See you later.
Bye, Victoria.
Thank you. Bye. You okay, Georgia?